Welcome to this look at a new mod map to Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Hazelnut Farms, Kentucky. This is a new mod map out by Nuclear Salmon ShantyboysMapCreations. 32.52 megabytes download. There are no required mods to download. There's nothing in addition in build mode. There are no custom crops. Contracts are available. This is an odd one. It does say in the description, right at the very bottom of the description, it says, I would like to dedicate this map to my father. And as you go around, you will notice there are lots of heart-shaped things all around the map. Fields, ponds. There's one down here that's heart-shaped. We'll see that when we get down to there later. I think there was something else further around. Yeah, so there's lots of bits like that. Now, as far as New Farmer goes, let's go back up to there. We'll go across to Farmland. So we start with field 1 here, and we start here with the pickup and a sleep and wardrobe trigger at the farmhouse. Now, this is one of the one of those ones. It's a weird one. Plot 87, and I can't remember where 87 was on the map. But plot 87 basically, there you go, Farmland 87, 1,751,000, buys all the riverways. I did have a quick check with this, with the Highlands fishing expansion. You can use the fishing rod in here and you can catch fish. It did work, it does work, there's no reason why I wouldn't. But what we've also got is we've got fields and stuff all over the place. We've got plots that can be purchased as well. So rather than having like the periphery, the verges of the map, you can buy a plot, but then the fields themselves within that plot are separate. So these plots here, you'll see this one, you know, these all upside of here. I bought up a few of them. This one here, 88, takes in all of this. 71 takes in this bit here. We've got up here is plot 60, which takes in all of this section. Up here, these are sort of fairly straightforward. But pretty much all the sections can be bought. We've got 83 up here, which does that part of the town. 84 does that part of the town. And then we've got the bit we start with here, which is quite expensive actually on New Farmer. That's 1,087,000 for all of that, and you start with it on New Farmer, which is kind of helpful because the rest of the farms here. Now, it says about dams. There's kind of a dam there against the edge of the map. There's a dam here at the edge of the map here, and there's one across the waterway here. Now it says there are 3 ferries, and there are. There's a ferry crossing here, but there's also a bridge. There's a ferry crossing here, which takes you to this island. This ferry here is an absolute bizarre one. Now, I tried to get on it. We might try at the end, because that's where we're going to end up. And when I started it off, it just didn't move. Nothing happened. So I got off the ferry, and a few minutes later, it started moving. This ferry went from here, all the way up here, all the way up here, through this gap, past the side of the dam, all the way up to this ferry point up here. But here's the other thing with it. There are barges and stuff going around, and it clipped through 2 barges on the way through. So if you're on that in a vehicle, unless it's just supposed to be a thing you do for the look of it, I don't know whether it won't move if you've got a vehicle on. Maybe it was just a bit odd. Anyway, the other thing we've got on here as well is all around the map. So actually, because we're going to do a loop round, up here in plot 60, we've got a pile up here. If we come around and down, all the way down to here, we've got a pile here. We've got piles here. We've got a pile here. Well, I'll explain the piles later. We've got a pile there. We've got piles. Hang on, let's click off that onto something else. We go pile there, and we've got a couple of piles here of things that you can dig. So you can dig away to your heart's content. Actually, there's probably a pile there as well. I've just missed it and I've just realised it was there. I haven't checked it, but we can have a look aerially. You have to own the plot of land to be able to dig the stuff, to be able to get to it and access it. So you can get your dig on if you want to. So yeah, field prices, plot prices, not too bad. It's an unusual. That's an unusual way of doing it. I don't know if it is really. So as I said, sleep and wardrobe trigger is just here. I don't think I've ever picked a bright blue like that for a pickup. And when I got in it, I thought, actually, you know what? I quite like that with the white wall tyres. So anyway, it says there are 25 collectibles. I have found a few. They're kind of big ones. The sort of ones I've just noticed are football. they're kind of big ones like you get when you're building the grain elevator type thing. Is that a collectible? That's just a random. Keep my now R1. Keep my finger on X, then let go. Kind of throws it. Yeah. Okay. That's like I say. There's some strange stuff about. It's very open. What is good about it is because you can buy all the plots everywhere. It's a lot of open space, a lot of room for landscaping, changing things, adding in sell points, productions, whatever you want to do. I think is pretty available. Slot count on all 3 game modes is 960. I got that down to 901 by removing all of the start equipment and machinery, and there's a cow pasture we'll get to later on. I haven't come across any other cow pens. There's a lot of ditches, some with water, some without, and you have to be careful because you can get yourself tied up in knots. You can work your way round out of a field or in a certain direction and find yourself hemmed in by ditches. But again, because you can buy the land, I don't see any reason why you couldn't landscape them out. If you don't want the ditches on there, you can landscape them, I suppose. So, I don't know why I'm driving all out here, but I was going to say. So all out here on plot 60, this entire pile out here, that's all soybean. So if you buy the plot of land, there's a ton of soybean. I've seen stone before, and we've seen wood chip before, and I've seen gravel piles, and you know, on maps where you've got extra fill types. I don't think we've ever seen piles of crops. Like I say, it's one of those ones. And I don't get me wrong, I like it. It's that thing of you get into the habit and a routine of doing map tours, and you get used to seeing certain things. And then when you don't have those certain things, when things aren't quite what they seem, you have to start really processing and paying attention to what's going on. Liquid fertilizer purchase point, or liquid manure purchase point. Manure purchase point just here. There's not actually a track that runs around the back here. We can buy this land, so if you want to add a roadway in, you absolutely can. Come round the back of here, we get out animal dealer sell point, animal dealer point just here. There's no NPCs on the map, which I know for some people will really make their day. Not everyone is a fan. But I guess as well, once you've bought plots of land, there's nothing stopping you putting little bridges in across any of these. We're getting more and more of these style of maps, really, where you can come on and just play the map as it is. But it has also got that kind of scope for not full-blown pioneering, but you can really make the map your own. You can do whatever you want with it, and there's something pretty cool about that as well. Canning factory is just here. Cement factory is just here. We come out and across here. We've got another bridge that crosses over back into the plot in the middle. This is the farmers market sell point. Across here we've got the grain mill. Now what I'm going to do is drive around the grain mill, because this is the ferry point where that ferry comes all out of the map and comes here. Now something else I noticed, I was tracking the ferry while I was doing the sort of my prep. I was going around thinking I didn't know how long it was going to take to get up here. There are some bits. I'll say start ferry, but I was going to put the tractor on. I will say the water plane, I don't know if the scale is the water plane texture seems big. Does that make sense? The ripples are big. Anyway, what I noticed was in there, look, there's a car. There's a car in the water, and it's very odd. Yeah, I was watching the ferry leaving, and there was a barge coming up. I was thinking it's going to hit the barge, and it did hit the barge. It went right through the barge. So I don't know. And I'll be honest, it's clunky in places. There are some clunky bits. It's the way it is. You know, it is the map. I say, like I always do with the map tour, I'm showing you what's here. This is the map. But the fact you can buy all of these plots, so again with the houses you can add sleep triggers in, wardrobe triggers, little sell points, productions around all of this. Gas station is just here. Across from the gas station we have got, here is the oil mill. We need to go this way. There's the oil mill. Over here we've got a bakery, which we're just going to drive around this side of. But if you drive around The left-hand side of that, that's the bakery just there. And then down here we've got the restaurant sale point. So there are some bits you think, oh yeah, there's a few bits that feel a bit what's the word? Riverbend Springs. And there are some bits like this. Like I say, I don't know if I'm assuming we'll get an update. There's just some odds and ends here and there's abouts. I'm going to cross over the bridge and come down this side. So like I say, there's a sort of dam type structure out on there. We've got a bit of a drive down here. Big open space. I mean, you've got tons of room for equipment and machinery. There's plenty of, and when I say forestry, again, this is a tricky one. There is some harvesting forestry, I would say, where you can use a tree harvester. There's a lot of these like oak tree style things, which would be useful if you're using like something like the Devourer. If you're doing wood chipping, mulching, that kind of stuff, those kind of trees are worth their weight in gold for the amount of wood chips you get. But they're not so great for tree harvesting and actually putting trees down. So this here, this is Grain River Silo. So this is Grain River Silo. This is a sell point just here. Just across the way, actually we'll go out here across the crops, but so I'll be careful here. This one is Grain West Silo. So this is a storage silo. So we've got putting in here, putting in just over there, and then in between taking out of the silo. So this is a free storage silo here, very big proposition as well. Then that big facility next to it, all along this big canal river system, is Grain Barge Terminal 2, just there, sell point. And then round the back of here we've got a lime station just here. Now from here we can take a fork, stick it in me, I'm done. I'm joking. What I'll do is go airborne again, because right down the bottom corner, plot 77, which is all over here, that enormous pile there on plot 77, that's all corn. Right the way down there. Huge pile of corn there. We're going to just drive through the forest, because in here, these piles on plot 76, they're all wood chip. Sorry, I was just going this way. And the thing about it as well, because you can, like I said, oh, was it plot 87? It was plot 87, wasn't it? By plot 87, hang on. Yeah, it says Farmland 87. Why did that not highlight before? What was I saying about the rivers? It was the roads. Yeah, because you can buy all these plots. Again, with this, if you're driving along and thinking, you know, if you think the roads are too wide, or you want to add some fencing, or you want to add some more decorative items, it's a big plus for me on maps when you can buy the roadways as well, because it gives you a lot more opportunity for immersive gameplay if you want to go down that route. You know, I've done plenty of Let's Plays where the ability to utilise the roadways is huge. I've got to find these piles now. They're going to be a bit further in, aren't they? So I cut across from plot 77 last time. Yeah, we're coming up on them now. Here we go. One there, one there, one there. All wood chip. And there's more. Let's head out of here. Okay, so all the way around this now. All the way around here. So yeah, we got lots of sort of raised hill sections, and yeah, it's just a bit different. So all the way along here, and we will come to plot 68 that I mentioned. Now again, the houses come up as with part of plot 68. Plot 68 has got a stone pile in amongst the trees in it. So that's all here. So loads of stone available. All there. Little quarry, if you will. And again, there's rock mods as well. You know, placeable decorative rocks. You could build your own quarry up around that. If you use the Highlands fishing expansion edition, there's a quarry mod. You could put the quarry mod with that and do stone and also and like big rock quarrying and all sorts of stuff. It's just cool. There's some really interesting features as well, like this, and it's just, I don't know, it's seemingly random. I suppose that's why my brain's struggling. I don't know why I'm struggling to deal with it. It's like mentally I'm like, you know, normally you would go along, there might be a whole ridge line of rock and you'll have an outcrop like that, or I don't know why my brain's not getting on. Anyway, gas station just here. On from the gas station over here we've got the vehicle shop just there, workshop trigger just there. This is the reset point for the map, and this has got one of those points on it that I was talking about that's got I didn't show it at the top, did I? This has got a little heart just here. Spoiler alert. Just there. Now where was that oh no, it's not. I thought it was a stone pile. That was where I was looking at the map, wasn't I? That's brilliant. That looked like a stone pile and I thought I'd missed it. It's a pond. That's cool. At least I didn't miss something that could have been jolly important. From here we're heading in to the centre of the map now. So in the centre of the map is the plot of land you start with on New Farmer. Sorry. Over that way, this is on plot 88. So where was plot 88? There. We've got this here. So if I go airborne here, out through this little valley, in amongst these trees here, we've got another big rock pile, but the rock pile is surrounding a pond. So that's one of those ones, if you are going to be collecting the rock, be careful you don't end up in the drink. But that could be one of those things, you know, a beautification project or something. You've got to landscape it and take all the stone out and re-landscape the pond area so people can go and fish, you know, because that's a thing now and it's quite cool. So driving all the way through these, all these little plots can be purchased. You can see on the map bottom left. We're going to go round here. There's a gas station a little bit further up. No. Deary me. I've got to stop looking at my notes while I'm driving. Gas station is just along here. Just there. We're going to turn down here. But I will say on plot 90, which I said we start with a new farmer, in the trees over there in the woodland over that direction. So we are currently here. In the forest over here. We've got some more wood chip in a big old pile over there as well, and a little pond up on the top as well. So we're going to head down. So this is kind of, we had the farm, the house where we started with our sleep trigger, but this is the farm. Now again, this is my brain fried. So I turned in here, and I have never seen an animal pasture like that. I have never. And the equipment and machinery is just all over the place. It's like there's been a tornado, a twister, and this is kind of where it's ended up. Maybe that's part of the storyline. You know, you're buying the farm, you've got to come and tidy things up. But here, so we've got our seeder just there. We've got a box of seed. We've got a broadcast fertilizer spreader. Huge pile of hay. Huge pile of silage. Feed mixer. Animal trailer. Plough, tedder. Bale grab inside the building here, front loader gear on the front there, John Deere, baler, mower, windrower. We come a bit further round up the back of here, we've got an Abbey trailer, and in that pen we have 31 out of 31 cows. Now those cows can be removed, and so can the pen if you want to remove them. That of course would be entirely up to you. So yeah, all the rest of the equipment and machinery is all over here. That shed can be removed, the houses can't. I did have a, you know, like I said, I was trying to get the slot count down. I got it down to 901, but I wasn't sure whether or not it would or not. Whether it would or not. Anyway, I don't know whether or not by the time we get, because I didn't call the ferry, what we'll do is we'll get on the ferry with this. I don't know, like I say, if it's not designed to move with a car on, and I did sit for about 5 minutes before and it didn't move. Beware the ditches. So yeah, this one to the left is the one that goes miles. That one goes straight across to the island. So if you want to do some work there, if you get a contract maybe over on there, you might have to. So let's start the ferry. It does the thing, closes the barrier. Let's get in here. It's quite slow, but like I say, I just don't know if being on the ferry is what stops it moving. But the problem is now it's been set off. Even if I drive off the back of it, that barrier's shut, so I can't go anywhere. I can't tell. I don't think it's moving yet. If it starts to move, I'll give you a shout. Go and make a cup of tea or something. No, it is moving. Look, you can just see at the back end of the ferry we are moving ever so slightly away from the dock. And it takes a while. I'm just concerned, curious as to what then happens if you do come across one of the barges. If they don't have a collision, then you'll be all right with your vehicle on here, and it goes a long, long way. Now, the other thing I will say is that barge over there. See, look, we've got one coming out here now. I don't think we're going to be fast enough to hit it at the moment, but we are moving. That barge, the other one, goes a little bit quicker. But what I found with the other one, when I went across to the island, it embeds itself into the docking area. So whereas this one kind of sat quite nicely underneath it, the other one goes right the way across, and it goes about 4 or 5 feet into the other docking thing. So potentially the map will get an update, I would say. I mean, like I say, potentially. But like I say, I don't think I've encountered, other than I think on Spectacle Island, Alien Jim's map, a ferry, a boat that follows the route and goes so far. All the ferries we've had so far have literally just gone across the river. So anyway, I mean, that, in essence, that's the map. That is Hazelnut Farms, Kentucky, by Nuclear Salmon, Shanty Boys Maps Creation. I hope you found all of this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.